rings. Okay, if you're not operating with this kind of camera that has 3 rings, you're basically using a camera that is not that much professional. So we expect a camera that is using 3 rings. Normally we look at the 3 rings as being a ring to do with focus, a ring that is going to adjust the light intensity, and then the third ring that is going to adjust the zoom in and out. Okay, so you need to look at the 3 lens, the 3 ringed camera. We shall basically, I'll take you on through the use of the 3 ring camera later. But anyway, because we are distance students, we are expected to use what is available to be able to capture what you need to learn. You will as well use the camera uh, that is attached on your phone. To effectively use the camera that is attached to your phone, I would recommend an application called Open Camera. You simply go to Play Store and download the application called Open Camera. The Open Camera is going to be effective and is going to help you to take professional pictures. Okay, just a moment. Emergency. Okay, so I'm back, and I'm saying that if you have an open camera, your camera is going to be more effective than using the normal applications that are attached to your camera, or the applications that come with your camera, your phone camera. So to better get a clear image, you just need to download the Open Camera or any application that can be of use better than the normal camera. You realize that images that you're going to be taking will be far better than the image that you have taken with the normal application that comes along with your phone. Okay, then one other thing that I would recommend is that you have the right postures that you're taking the camera. We shall look at the camera use possibly in the next session. But this session is meant to learn how to use the softwares that are intended to help you boost the quality of your image. And we want to introduce to ourselves software that we call Photoshop. Photoshop is one of the outstanding softwares used in photo editing and enhancement, especially when it comes to computer graphics. Photoshop will open, and the first screen that you'll always see is the one that you actually displayed on your screens. And it has 3 options that you can work with. We have the first option as create new. When you click at create new, what you are basically getting is creating a new file. It will help you to create a new file, and when you click at open, you are clicking at you are opening an existing file. It could be an image. Then we can as well use the upper side through the file option. The file option in the menu bar will give you the option of selecting new or opening an existing one. So we are basically going to look at how do we operate with these files, or how do we load these files into your work area. Currently I'm using the version, and yours might be exactly the same as mine, or might be a little different from mine. However, let's quickly have a walkthrough. When you click at the create new, a file gives you, it's going to open a window, which window you're going to use to identify the dimensions of your image and the quality of your image that you want to work with. When we talk about the dimensions of the image, we are looking at an image that is captured, and we are identifying or specifying the height of the image alongside the width of the image. But no matter which kind of image you're working with, we realize that this image is always going to load we consider the width, and then we consider the height. So take an example of these settings that we have in our system right now, the ones that might be displaying on the screen. We have a setting of the width set at 16 by 12. That means the width is 16. This is the width, starting from left to right is the width, which is going to be 16 centimeters. The unit price, the unit of measurement is centimeters. And then we have a height of just 12 centimeters. So we need to always know these facts. We always take the width first and then the height. So no matter which kind of image you are told to create or edit, we rely, just like you see this number 16 by 12. That means the 16 is the width and the height is 12. Okay, so the dimensions that you have selected will determine the orientation. When we talk about the orientation, we mean how the image is going to be printed on paper. Okay, so the image, based on the settings that we have, 16 centimeters, which is bigger a number compared to 12 centimeters, it means it is going to make this system, the image, to be standing or to be edited in an orientation called a landscape orientation. Yet, when you specify a bigger and a lesser number with the width, maybe we take a lesser number by 10. Okay, when we specify it as 10, you realize that this number that we have specified, and we are taking only 10, it's going to change it to have the orientation is going to automatically change to a landscape. Okay, so the fact that you have entered a smaller number with the width compared to the height, your orientation is going to change to a landscape orientation. You can as well change the dimensions, the units. You can change the units to inches, to pixels, and dots. So it depends what you want or what makes sense to you. So let's leave it as centimeters for now. And my width is going to be 30 centimeters. Then my height is going to be 15 centimeters. Okay, so still my orientation is going to remain as landscape. So we have the landscape, and then we have the portrait orientations. Then we have one other thing that we need to understand is the quality of your image. Your image is going to have a resolution. The resolution, you need to have a better resolution. Resolution is how clear the image will be. Okay, so this measuring is dependent on the number of pixels. When we talk about a pixel, we mean that small dot of an element that creates or contributes to the creation of the image. An image is a combination of small dots called a pixel. So you can loosely say a pixel is the smallest unit that makes a picture or makes a photo. So these images, these elements, one it's like a box, one small dot of a box in the format of a box, and it is going to help you to be able to create uh, this one outstanding image. And this outstanding image is going to have a number of things related to how the image is going to be, what is its color. Okay, so each element has a unique color that combines differently in relation with other dots to create one image. Another aspect that we need to know is the color mode. The color mode, we have different color modes, and this time around we shall use the RGB. RGB stands for red, green, and blue color. Okay, so that kind of color is going to give us a right output that we shall need to have our image out clearly for now, which is an 8-bit. Okay, then we have the background content. Our background is we are going to call it a canvas. A canvas, the ideology of the canvas is adopted from the artists. When the artists normally operate with their files, they are looking at how do we paint and which material are we painting on. So the material they are using to paint on is what we call a canvas. Okay, it's what we call a canvas, and the canvas is what we're going to set. So it depends on which kind of color is more appropriate for you. And secondly, we are also going to depend on the use of this image. Some images that you create are going to be pushed on or added onto other surfaces, and we want to reserve the background or the color of that background. If we create an image and we put it on a green background, we shall have the green background reserved. Take an example of the screen on TV. If we watch a TV and we have the screen displayed, you realize that there's going to be what we call a station logo, or it's going to be maybe towards Christmas time. They normally put some animation of Father Christmas, or what we call Santa Claus walking or dancing, but we actually reserve or remain with the background image uh, intact. Santa Claus remains dancing, but we still see the images of the TV happening. So that means this image, when they are creating this kind of animation, the background was left or it was reserved to transparent. It was not black or white. It was set to transparent so that you create the image. The image moves or dances, but you basically have the background intact. Okay, so ours we're going to set it to white. Okay, and then you enter the image name up there. So we shall have it as class 1 vectors. Okay, and then click at create. So as you click at create, your canvas is going to get created, and your setup will be as bright as mine is. So when you get this kind of setup, you realize that your Photoshop is going to give you three major layers or three major properties you're going to work with, and one of them is your major toolbox. On the left side is your toolbox. Okay, so that is your toolbox, and it has the tools. Think of it as a builder of a house or a carpenter who has a number of tools that he has to hold to ensure that he models the right chair or the right table out of the wood he has to himself. Okay, so if you have this on your left side, there are a number of tools in this section that cuts across all softwares that we know as graphics softwares. Then on the right side we have the panels that where we find the properties. Okay, whatever that you click at, you realize that it will always be adjustable using the properties on the right side of your window. Then on the right side, on the middle side, the white area is actually your work area. This work area helps you to do all the activities that you want to create. All the activities, all this, the setup that you want to create will always be done in the middle section of your screen. Then on top we have the properties. Whatever that I click at in the middle section will have the properties right on top. So you can adjust those properties from the top section of your Photoshop. Photoshop, when at a first glance of Photoshop, it is one of the intimidating softwares, but it is one of the most outstanding softwares that we can use when it comes to graphics editing and creative graphics. I need also to mention that there are two types of graphics. One of the two is what we call the vector graphics, like we saw in the previous chapters. Vector graphics, we are basically dealing with an image that is created using shapes. And then we have the second type that we call the raster graphics. The raster graphics is one kind of graphics that is captured or created using digital devices like a camera. That kind of graphics is what we call the raster. And when you use shapes and text, you are majorly looking at what we call the vector graphics. Okay, so today we're going to introduce ourselves to what we call vector graphics. Okay, so how do we get the vector graphics done? It is easy to create these vector graphics. One of the idea that we need to create or to have in memory is that which image shall we create and how do we get it done. One aspect that you need to understand is that everything on this planet Earth is shaped except air and water or liquids. But otherwise, all tangible things, opaque things are always having a shape. Just look at yourself in a mirror, or look at your neighbor. If you cannot look at yourself, just look at your neighbor. You realize that this neighbor has a head which is roughly an oval-shaped head, then has a chest which is kind of looking like a cube or rectangle. Then we have the legs, which are kind of like pipes or a cylinder. And everything you realize that you just assemble shapes to come up with an image. And that's what vector graphics takes. Today we want to initiate ourselves to using this graphic software to create something. Alright, let's click at this so that I kind of narrow down to just 2 lines of my toolbox. So in my tools, you realize that I have these sections of tools, and there are tools that have extensions or dots at the bottom right corner. So these tools, when you click on it and hold down the left mouse button, you realize that it is going to help you to reposition or to select additional statements or additional activities. Take an instance of an image, and I want to be able to edit this image. The question is, how do I get it done? How do I accomplish it? Just click at this image. If this is a tool, click and hold. Additional tools will surface. Then move or hover over these tools and you'll be able to select the right tool to be used. Okay, so I have just switched from the original tool to the polygonalizer tool. Do the same thing for the rest of the active or the rest of the tools. You'll be able to reposition, you'll be able to get additional tools. So with the vector graphics, we are interested in using basically shapes. We are going to have a project out of vectors. The idea is to start small and then grow big. So let's create a simple graphics. We're going to use shapes and realize that on top of your toolbox we have a shape which is a rectangle. So I'm clicking at this rectangle. When you look at these objects, you don't seem to see any circle or an oval. That means for the vector graphics, I basically need to click at the rectangle because it's the shape. Click at it and hold. Then you'll have additional shapes popping up. In those additional shapes, select ellipse. You can call it a circle or an oval. It depends on how you move your mouse. Click at it, and then your cursor will change to a plus sign. Just click at in your canvas, click and hold, then move your mouse gently, then release. Two things are going to happen. Your shape is going to be colored and your border is also going to be colored. However, the top section is going to give you the properties that you will use to control the shape that you have just drawn on your canvas. I have used previously the shape. This time around I want to move the shape. I'm clicking at the move tool. Then I'll be able to select the shape and move it around. So once this shape is created, you realize that I can customize the colors inside the shape. I can customize those colors into different colors or into different formats. Call it shapes. So Uh, we have people who are joining us online, and Rashava Immaculate Geraldine, one of the professional photographers, is online, and we would love to welcome her and wish her a nice learning session. Alright, we are back to this session. We have this tool, and then I want to be able to customize. How do I change the color? When you click at it, you realize that at the bottom right corner we have layers. There's a section for layers. Whatever that you add to your canvas, it can be controlled using layers. So click at the layers. You realize that I've clicked at the layer which is Eclipse 1, and this is the layer that I have so far put on my screen. Okay, and I can as well add more and more shapes. I want to change the background, so I have the layer selected. There are 3 or 4 ways you can change the background color. One of them is have the layer selected, and then you can switch this layer color or the color of the object through another tab called color. I don't know, maybe you can pronounce it in a color or color, I don't know, but it's color. Okay, so we have this color which is black, and I want to change it to gray color. So I'm moving my color selector and then click at the color that I want to have, then press enter. Alternatively, you can as well change the color with a fill. Okay, click at the fill and then select which palette you want to use. Okay, I want to be able to use this palette, and I will change it to gray, that kind of gray. You can as well, if you are familiar with the color or hexadecimal colors, you can change the color shade. There are times you are interested in creating graphics, but you want to reserve the color themes or the color shades of a particular company. So scientifically, you would be interested to know which color selector that you are interested in using. So better you just click at the color theme or the hexadecimal color code, and you'll be able to enter it there. Then simply click at OK. So instantly that color is going to change. Alternatively, we can as well switch the colors using the right side. Okay, you can switch that using the right side and then click at that color, so it gives you the same dialog box for fetching the colors, and then adjust the colors. I'm turning it to a little maroon, and then click OK. Okay, so this color is going to be able to be this is the same as the right side. Okay, so if I want this, okay, can I get it there? Yes, I can. Okay, so I had changed the color there, but I wanted to also have the fill color. After changing it, I had to click at the fill and then select the color from the recently used colors there. Alright, let's add another shape. Still the sphere selected, and realize that this time around, as I'm adding another shape on my canvas, another layer is going to get created. So there I click and add or draw a bigger circle. So this bigger circle oval, it's going to be having this other color, black. Okay, and I basically want it to be having another color, but let us first add different shapes to be able to create one singular image, or what we have called a vector image. So I'm adding another shape. This time around it's a smaller circle. Okay, and then move it there. Okay, and another circle, and draw it like that, then move it, and there it is. So your arrangement of these shapes is going to create an image for you. Alternatively, let me just rearrange it this side. So I'm having this small one and this big one. Then I have another side, this. Okay. Alright, so I have this, arrange it there, and then we have this other one there. Okay, so when from your vision, you realize that I have just created an illusion as if this is a mother holding an African mother. I can call this person an African mother, who is basically holding a baby at her back. Okay, and maybe I would wish to create something that gives an impression that yes, this is a mother. It is not something weird, but it's a mother. Okay, holding a kid on her back. So I just need to create or click at the shape using this layers, or you click at a particular shape. Then you realize that still in your toolbox you have arrows, selection arrows, or some people call them selection tools. So when you click at the selection tools, it is giving us two options. We have the path and the direct selection tool. So when I select the direct selection tool and I click at this circle, you realize that it is going, I'll be able to add just, this is a circle, okay? And I would want to change the way it looks. So I'm only going to click at it, path, and it is, when you click at it, it is going to give you other properties. Okay, if I move it where it was, like that, okay, that's how it was. Alright, so I'm selecting it in the layers section, then I'll be able to click at this, okay, the selection tool, and then I have holders. These are what we call the vertex, the ones in the corners. They form graphically, they help us to create an image, the dimensions of the image, using an algorithm. But for now, I'm interested in just their manipulation. How do you manipulate them? So you just need to click at them and be able to move them. Effectively, you can as well do that when you are using another software that at times I have my students or the starters use. When you have these, you can change the way this image is going to be created. You can change the way it's going to, you can manipulate the way it looks. Okay, alright, so let's try to start simple, and we shall grow bigger. So we have this, and we want to change the head of this mother. We want to create kind of like an illustrative logo. So I'm changing it back to black, being that it's going to be just a logo. Click at that and click black. So it's back to black, and I have her like that. Then I would wish her to be in a circle. So all I need to do is to go back and get my circle there, and I enclose everything touching her there. Alright, I want this image to kind of have something touching her at the bottom there. Alright, so realize that this image, the last circle that I've just drawn, is going to cover the entire part. The entire image is actually disappeared. What I would wish to make you understand is that whatever that you drop on your layers, whatever that you drop on your canvas is layered as we have seen, but you just need to rearrange them. Okay, so I've drawn an oval and its color black, so I can as well control this oval using the properties on top. Click at the fill and then select color, the fill color. I don't want the fill color there, so I need to select the one that has a no color. So the no color just takes out the color. Alternatively, if the black color was persistent there, I can be able to rearrange these layers. So rearrange the layers, grab the ellipse 5, the ellipse, not ellipse, but ellipse 5, and then grab it, then push it at the bottom. Then release. So it has just rearranged our layers, and our layer is at the bottom. Let's give this layer a different color, maroon. So realize that yes, my layer is at the bottom, and I can as well adjust giving it another color. Maybe it's right. However, when you are using these colors, you need to be selective. You don't simply use colors anyhow. Okay, otherwise colors also have a story to tell. Okay, so I'm having this kind of color, and then I'm going to have this okay, just going to have the other lady, the head, and so I'm having this color, changing it to a different color. Just have this, that's the head. I want the body, I just want the head is there, change its color, head on top, changing it to an African color. Then I need to change and look at its tone. Okay, tone of an African lady there. Click at that, then same will happen to this, to the kid's head, same color. So I'll click at that, but it will also give me an option of previously used colors. Click at that, and I have the selection done there. Okay, so we are kind of getting dimensions of how we would wish this image to be edited or to look like. Okay, alright. So we have this, and then we have another color that is attached to a particular area. Can we change the background? Want to change this background to just have it white, that we have a line around it, or the border, change it to another different color. So we shall select the ellipse 5, and then change its color, the fill color, then the fill color, we don't want the fill color to be there, but we want the stroke. A stroke is the border. So get the stroke and then give that stroke a border which is similar to the head. So I've selected that, and I am interested in changing the weight of the stroke. Currently is weight 1 pixel. So we just slide it off, and I'm giving it okay, relatively that wanted something slightly small. Okay, so take that to be our selection, and that is what we have produced so far. So can we move this? Can we move it so that we basically bring it down and then have some vectors done somewhere? So I'm going to select all. Okay, so alternatively I can work with these layers. One thing I did not mention is that you can make some layers disappear and others are still remain visible. We have this section at a particular layer, under layers there is something that looks like an eye. Okay, when you click at it, normally it is going to hide away content or make it visible. So that is the issue, that you'll find you might be working on something and something just fails because, or you don't see it, it's because you have hidden away some content, and some content has basically remained visible. Okay, so we'll look at that later, and all I need is I want to move this down and have it done. So let me just find a way of moving it down. So my machine is hanging. Alright. Okay, so let me try to get this. Okay, Photoshop is one of the softwares that are a little heavy, and it also will respond in accordance to what you have on your system and the memory space that you have, and how much of the memory you're using at a time. Possibly mine is finding hard time. It's because I'm running a direct stream against the Photoshop. But I'll find a way of getting it done out of the way. Let me have just a session break so that I have it corrected.